Welcome back to the Next Level Show. This is our Friday episode where we get into a series of random topics as well as a quick rapid fire of different fitness topics. In this case, we're going to break down a particular topic all about change and kind of the things that come with that. And this is important just because obviously, when you're starting a fitness journey, you want to get to a specific point. You can't be the same person you are fundamentally in all aspects, physically, mentally, spiritually, you name it. There's going to be a whole remake of who you are, but which can be good things, but it can also be very scary. So we're going to cover those things later in the episode. Some quick reminders for anybody that's new to the YouTube channel. We just started obviously putting up the videos. So we appreciate everyone that has subscribed up to this point. Make sure to go ahead and drop, a thumbs up on the video. It does well for the algorithm. Also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the episodes. I think you have to hit a bell notification on this thing too. And also we appreciate I appreciate all the listeners that have been with us for, all these other 200 episodes that we've done on the other podcast platforms, which we have, I'll put some stuff available in the comment section just so you guys can see. Mike also does a fantastic job at putting the show notes for you guys so you guys can dive in exactly to what topic you care about listening if you want to jump around. But we always advise to let it run. It's a great show. Why you want to skip?
Yeah.
Anything else I'm trying to think of? Those are the quick reminders. Super excited about the YouTube thing. I'm loving a lot of stuff is going to be coming as far as the aesthetics of the show. Eventually, we're going to try to move into just recording in person for you guys. So it's actually going to look more dynamic. But for now, we'll do what we're doing right now with this platform. Also, we're bringing on some people, outsourcing some stuff that are just people that are more intelligent with us when it comes to technology to edit, the show a little bit and have a nice little setup. So when you guys tune in, it's a dope show, dope podcast.
Well, what if we now hear me out on this? It's going to sound a little weird. What if we outsource the position of hosts? Like if we find somebody to host the show for us.
Yes.
Like, is that a thing? They could still introduce I'm Jonathan Alvarez, I'm Gabriel Contreras, but not,
I don't think that's how it works, but who knows? They would have to be definitely very handsome. So those are the requirements. Very intelligent, have great testosterone levels to grow a fantastic beard. And yeah, just be able to just talk about nothing for 30 minutes, 40 minutes at a time.
One out of those four.
Those are the requirements. If everyone wants to apply, go down to the comment section and let us know. Not really. We won't be going anywhere anytime soon. We love doing this. We love talking to you guys. And as always, send us a little comment in the section if any questions, anything comes up in the show during the show that you may want us to address, some ideas, some critiques, whatever it is, let us know. But yeah, guys, how are you guys doing today?
All good. Back after a small hiatus. This week has been something so far. We started the camp. So a week-long camp. So this is week 2 of our camp. Last week we had dollhouse making camp, and it was nice. It was like 4 kids. But this week it's with 23 kids.
Wow.
Wait, so you were building dollhouses?
Yes, we were doing that last week. Well, I built it already, so I had it structured I built the house. And then they put together the furniture for it. They painted the house. They put wallpaper. They did chandeliers, lights, all that kind of good stuff.
So
it was nice.
When we recorded by ourselves, what was that, yesterday?
Yes. Bless you.
Bless you. Coronavirus.
Excuse me. That came out of nowhere. We jokingly said that you were missing the episode because you were building low-income housing for children.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah. So that's...
So you were
actually accurate. Correct. Yeah, that's holy crap.
1,000%.
There you go, Mike.
That one, at least you're a little more prepared for.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right there.
I'm doing okay. I actually, on that note, I haven't had an allergy day in a really long time. One of my clients is a nurse practitioner, and she recommended Flonase, which is like a nasal spray, which I always hated.
Yeah.
But she told me it would work, and I've been taking it. And I don't think that I've sneezed more than a couple of times since I started taking it.
Did you finish it?
Well, it's like a take it all the time kind of thing, I guess. But for some reason, I'm allergic to something in my closet at this very moment for some odd reason. I forgot what I was going to say. So,
Well, I had a story.
Go ahead.
I had a story for you guys. I kind of briefly touched up on air, and I did go out a couple days ago, and I forgot to mention this to Mike. But I'm glad Gabe, you're back, so I can you can be on the show too to chime in. But basically, I went out with a friend to grab some drinks, and it's really rare in my life. I've been in 2 fights, one big fight, one like smaller fight. I'm not a person that is very confrontational. I'm very laid back, overall. But and I'm not saying that I got in a fight a couple of days ago. I'm just saying like I was in a position. I was in a position where it could have potentially escalated into something physical if I didn't have this composure, this maturity, this confidence. No. So I went out for drinks. We're just having drinks sitting outside. And then this random person, man, people are weird, man. Like I don't know if it's like people that don't know how to read a situation well, or they're just literally off they're completely out of it. The guy go ahead.
Let me ask you about that. So do you think that that's most people or some people in some of the case, or has this kind of like escalated? Those that were kind of in there, it's more so now because they've been away from people, allegedly away from people for quite some time. Do you think that has to do anything to it, or is it hard for people just to kind of get in situations where they have been separated more so than others? Do you think
I don't think so. I mean, I guess someone can make a case for it, but
so they're just
but
an idiot.
In the state of Florida, you can't use that as an excuse. It wasn't that bad. Like
not at all.
You had access to other
Barely
people.
happened.
Yeah, it's like virus. What? Like
yeah.
No, we just continued living in our own world. We were the kind of like what was it? The rebellious kid of the family. We just did our own thing. Okay. And so basically we were there. This person kind of goes around a table. It was like a long table, so there's multiple chairs available. There were 4 empty chairs, and I'm not the type of person. If someone comes and wants to sit down, unless it's like it's read the room, like sit kind of separated from me. Don't have to be up in my bubble. You can do that. I don't care. Like I'm not the person like, no, you can't sit here. Like I'm pretty like laid back about that stuff. Basically, this guy looks like he's gonna grab the chair for himself, which dude, go grab it. I don't care. Like we're not using it. No, but he proceeds to sit down, and I'm not it was with a friend. It was not like, I'm dating this girl. It's just someone that I know for a long time, and we were just catching up. But the way I look at it, it's like the guy doesn't know this. There's no way he can know this. Like this could be a girl that I'm either meeting, dating, whatever. So this is like the ballsy move this guy did. And I just think he wasn't fully sober because he had his sunglasses on. It wasn't that sunny out. It was like these dark glasses too. And he just sits down and just like leans over, and I kind of acknowledge him to see like if he would say something like, you good? Like you need the chair? He ignored me and proceeded to talk to my friend, telling her basically like, oh, I've been watching you. You look very pretty. Yeah, dude. So like, I'm saying like, in the sense, like, how do you know that I'm not either her man? We're married, we're meeting we're on a date. So I don't ever feel like threatened by things like that. I don't care. Like my friend is really attractive, so it's like, of course, like I'm not it's not surprising if she gets hit on, but it's just the way it happened. You could have been more smooth about it and try to talk to me too and get some feedback and see if we were, you could have played it smoother and been like, oh, like, awesome, like nice to meet you both. You're very pretty date you got. Like, you could have gone on about it. It's still weird, but you could have gone on about it a little bit better, right? The delivery matters. This guy just makes the comments and kind of goes on for like about like 30 seconds of just saying stuff, and at no point acknowledges me. But at this point, I'm just staring at him because I'm like, at this point, I'm like in defensive mode. Like, who is this guy? I'm out in public. I don't know you. And I was telling Gabe, and we just kind of laughed about this. I'm already sizing this guy up, and I'm like literally looking at it, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I can take him if I had to. Like, I already made this preconceived notion that I could basically defeat my opponent. So I'm like, whatever. I'm staring at him, and he's just acting weird, and he just proceeds to like continue on, is what he says, and then he just continues to like drink his drink, and then he calls over a friend that he can come and sit in front of him. So then I'm already getting a little bit bothered. right? So like friend sits down, they don't say anything. So I'm also the person that is not gonna purposely antagonize a situation, because if I'm being objective, he hasn't physically or notioned anything towards me that is necessarily an excuse for me to attack him or to feed the situation. So I'm just staring at her. I kind of chuckled, like, like annoyed, but like chuckled out of just like, can you believe this fucking idiot, is what I said out loud. And he didn't say anything, so I left it like that. I didn't keep going. And then two things came to my head. One, I could be like, yo, what the fuck is your problem? Or two, let me just ignore this son of a bitch, because I'm not going to ruin my day. I'm an adult. I'm almost 30 years old. I don't need to be fucking getting kicked out of this spot on basically on a Sunday evening. It's not even like a Saturday packed day. It'd be stupid. Bottom line. Top of that, I'm not even dating this girl. So why the fuck am I going to put myself in a horrible situation when she's fine? Like, now, of course, if it would have escalated, I would have to step in. But we're just friends. I mean, like, this is the thing. Like, I was kind of just like analyzing all these little factors, and I'm thinking to myself, like, well, I told her flat out, I'm like, hey, you want to go back? You want to go inside or something, or you want to go sit somewhere else? And whatever, pay the tab. And then we just grabbed our stuff and just kind of like moved to a different chair that was more like private. And because we liked the music that was outside, we didn't want to go inside for the music. So kind of like my potential altercation with another person. But it's funny because I even looked at I kind of sized up his friend. And I'm like, I could probably take on two. So my ego was definitely there, but at the same time, I had to check myself as well and be like honest and be like, dude, it's not even freaking worth it. Nothing's happening. They're not saying anything to you, so don't be a jackass either. Like, the way I look at it, it's like, if I ever get my ass handed to me, and like I have to ask myself, did I start the problem? Did I deserve it? Like, in most cases, someone's really not gonna really pick on you unless they're really past drunk or they're just on something, like they're really starting a problem. Most men don't pick on fights with just strange men on the street for fun, because we know that potentially there's a risk of us getting hurt. We know this. So we, for the most part, are very like cautious of how we decide to take action. It's, we have limits, and we kind of have boundaries that are, if they are crossed, then we will proceed to take action and defend ourselves, protect the people, the loved ones around us. And typically, if I was by myself, I'd be like, whatever, man, because I know that it wouldn't have happened if I was with another guy. Like, if me and my buddies were there, that wouldn't have been the case. There would have been no conversation, no sitting at my table type thing. Like, but it's just funny because they think, whatever, trying to be tough. To me, it just looked like a very pathetic thing. Never, dude, fellas, if you're listening, don't go to a couple. You don't know if they are together or not. You look pathetic. At the end of the day, my friend just thought he was a loser. You came up with a compliment. You look like I don't even want to use this word on the air, but
like
it's like
he was
you look
thirsty.
like you were thirsty. You were simping hard, man. So like, so go invite your own girls, like, girlfriends and stuff. Like, I don't know. Stop smacking on my friends.
So you moved, right? So you moved seats. So when you moved, did they say anything? Did they even see that, acknowledge as you guys were leaving? So they were probably just totally out of it. They didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I didn't hear like any specific comments. I know they were talking, they were kind of looking at each other, and it's like, but this is the thing too, like in the area that we're at, it's known for a little bit of like crime and stuff. Stuff happens in that area at times. It was kind of still early, but I'm always defensive, man. Like, always in that area, I'm always very cautious. I'm very like always watching my exits and watching what's happening. I'm just like that. I never like getting in a position where I'm not aware, because I have been in situations where I have been attempted to be pickpocketed in other cities and stuff like that. So I have had cases where people have had to try to rob me or do some weird, like they start acting very strange, and you just have senses, like you just sense this stuff, something's off, and it just gave me a weird vibe. But either way, luckily, I'm here to tell you guys this, so nothing happened. But it was just interesting for me to be in that situation after a long time.
You should have very gently put your hand on his knee and engaged in like very heavy eye contact. I think that would have diffused it.
The problem is that I stared at him for a while, but he was too far. Like, he was not even next to me. He was like,
that would have made
diagonally.
it better if you like went
you would have seen
way
me
out
just
of
like
your...
leaning. You just see me like this.
Yeah, exactly. Just
So put the
No.
hand on the knee and then start rubbing your thumb on his kneecap.
yeah, exactly. Let's get fucking weird in this. I think actually what you just experienced was, I think that guy probably had some like serious like self-confidence issues maybe, and he was trying to make himself feel better by like stealing your girl or something childish like that. I don't know. That's what logic I can, if there is any logic to apply to that. That's what I take away from it.
No
this
logic.
is how laid back I am, because I'm not like the typical. You may like, obviously, like the Hispanic Latin American culture, especially the old school, is very known for being very territorial over women and very machista is the proper word for it. Where they just get mad for everything. If a person looks, it has like nothing to do with it. They just look at your girl. It's like a very like, you know, puffing out the chest, raising the tone of voice, just trying to like establish alpha. It's like, dude, relax. I'm just like greeting everyone here. I'm really laid back. If you would have genuinely like talked to me and been cool, and you would have asked like, hey, are you guys together? I'm like, no, she's my friend. And if I would have seen you're not a creep, I would actually try to hook you up. I'm really not like that. I'm genuinely very like laid back about things like that. I don't care. But don't be a weirdo. Like, you're making my friend feel uncomfortable. Now you're making me feel, giving me some weird, creepy vibes. You could have gone on a date, bro, but you had to act all stupid. Hopefully you're watching this channel and self-improving. So but I had another thing to tell you guys on the subject of like going out and meeting girls. But OnlyFans. I've mentioned this account on a previous topic that we talked about. Now, for the people that don't know what
Yours?
OnlyFans is, mine is doing fantastic. My
Okay.
feet pics
Yeah.
are selling like crazy. Calf pics, you name it. Subscribe. Just kidding. I'm not on there.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm not under John Alva. I'm under a different alias. Imagine. But no. So what I heard recently, so people that don't know, it's a platform that's exploded in the last couple of years. It's not even 10 years old. It's about like maybe 3, 5, 4, something like that. It's a couple of years now, but basically it is what people want it to be. I know it's primarily women, posting pictures, posting content. I think videos, I'm not sure, but basically it's also known for like for sex work. That's basically, let's just like keep it real. But some girls don't. They just, if they're very attractive and they have a very big following, they sometimes just put pictures in lingerie or bathing suits. And they maybe do cooking stuff. It's just like, it's whatever you want it to be. And I've expressed like how the dynamic of the dating world has changed. But when it comes to that, some go into full like nudity and like, some sexual content. I don't know if you're allowed to post like videos, like explicit videos, like in that way, like full-blown penetration type stuff. But the thing is that now with OnlyFans, no.
Well, I think you should know your own regulations as to what you use on your site.
Right. People are gonna actually start thinking that I have one by the end
But
of
you
the
do.
show. I don't, but it's like
Oh, okay.
they start googling my name and trying to find me, but it's like they find someone else. But what if someone took my pictures and started to use it? Who knows? But no, basically what's happening with that account, which I just find funny, because the problem with this is that it creates a false expectation of reality, with women thinking that they found like a money tree. They found something that's going to create wealth for them, and they may be making a killing right now because they're young, pretty, attractive, and they have all this attention from guys. And the problem with now is that I'm feeling it's going to have a backlash. Like everything, it's kind of like a bubble. I feel like it's going to pop. Like most of these things that have a lot of hype, the government's getting involved. They're starting to cut down. Taxes are gonna have to start being paid. And I know a lot of these girls probably didn't prepare, save for a rainy day. So you're talking about, if you made 100K, that's a lot of money in taxes, like off the rip. So like it's a decent chunk of change. If you're blowing all your money, you're gonna start, but they're also limiting the type of content. This is the other problem with it, because now platforms are trying to get into it so they can advertise, market, just like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You want a place that people can that are most likely going to be on, so they can obviously make money from these advertisements. So this is going to limit the restriction of what they can post. And I know that some women people pay, this money for that more in-depth content, and the progression to bathing suit pictures, lingerie is typically nudity, and after that obviously it goes into the other side. So it's like, you don't have access to that, then you may start kind of seeing a decrease in some of these accounts. And so it's just interesting to see how the world was working right now when it comes to that, especially in the younger demographic. Ladies, if you're in that, if you're off, I know some personally that do it, man. And like, I mean, I'm interested to see what they're going to be posting or content that's going to be. Gabe's like, me too. Fuck. I'm interested to see what's going to happen next on that wave. So I know that was like a big thing. So let's see what happens next.
I was thinking about starting a OnlyFans for Chester. Pictures of my dog, just looking cute.
That'll do well.
No, that probably would.
Whenever I hear about that, it reminds me of this article that I read of. So this mom, she got on it and she would post things of kind of like what you said, just in lingerie, doing like either housework or dishes or just anything like that. First, it started like allegedly, for fun. Then it kind of started blowing up. But then it started going around their town or in their school. And they were trying to just oust her, telling her like, no, she needs to just, her kids needs to get kicked out of the school. They need to just be, distance themselves as much from the community as much as possible because of what she was doing. But I guess it was really all because I guess wives found out that their husbands knew about it, and their husbands knew about it because they were subscribed to it. So it kind of went down that hole. So it's a little, interesting, funny, a little hypocritical because it's like, what do you want me to do? Yeah. As far as her on her end, right? Like, let her do what the hell she wants to do. If you want to do this, go right ahead. Whatever. Just know the, like the repercussions from it, because I would imagine, if you're a mom and you're doing that. So, what about when your kids grow up? They're gonna your picture's gonna be out there.
That's all I think about.
Are you cool with your pictures being out there, and then your kids talking about it or seeing it, or their friends or whatever? So, hey, if you're cool with that, who am I to tell you no, or who's anyone to tell you no? That's
the thing is that like back in the day, if you were a dancer and you worked at a high-end strip club or something and you lived in another city and you have to say you relocated, it was all cash, there was no trace. The problem with now with this internet transaction with taxes and everything being thing, it's going to be something that people can dig up on you if they wanted to. It's a digital footprint that will last forever. The internet is forever. Obviously, be very careful on what you post and be okay with the consequences if you decide to go through with that. And I think for a lot of women, they're not seeing the long-term effect if they start a family or if they want a healthy relationship. Most guys are not comfortable with it flat out. They might say they're okay with it, but in the long term,
you might be okay. Exactly. For long term, it's like, my wife's, stuff being all out there. Yeah. I mean, again, some people are cool with it, right? Some people are cool with it. It's all right. But
it's each has their taste.
I would venture to say that more than likely, the people who are cool with it are saying to themselves, I'm not going to get involved with this person, long lasting.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
personally, like, me being single, I would date a couple of these girls. I don't care for a bit, but I'm not going to wife them up. Like it is what it is. But that's what things I don't think. And I also I don't know all the nuances of how this works. I just know it's mainly subscription based, and I think they can make their own prices.
Yes, you do.
This man, dude. This guy. But no, it's like I'm thinking to myself, like, fuck, I'm losing my train of thought. Oh, the guys that are putting, and the men that are kind of either complaining about it, don't subscribe. You're the ones giving these people power because you're buying. You're the consumer. You decide. If everyone, like, let's say, said, you know what, we're done with this and went on strike, and all these accounts would close, and they would have to be forced to get out of it. But I can imagine if I was like very like an attractive girl and I was making money just from existing and posting pictures, I'd be like, dude, like, this is great. Like, I don't have to do anything. And not for nothing, man. Like, most of these personalities suck anyway. So it's like they have no reason to self-improve when they're just getting glorified validation all the time. So exactly. Men, fellas, if you're listening to this show and you by any means are diving into that, I'm calling you out and being like, dude, we got to level up.
You get it for free.
Exactly. Yep. Like, go somewhere else and find it for free if you really want to go in that route. But do the real thing, man. It's better. So anyways, changing directions. Boys, you guys have something for the show?
Yes. So on that last topic, did you guys know that Earth now has a new ocean?
What? No.
No.
I'm being serious. Totally dead ass. So National Geographic has named the large body of water surrounding Antarctica as the Southern Ocean, making it the world's 5th ocean.
Really?
Hmm.
So it's just like a perimeter ocean around Antarctica.
Yeah, which is kind of like, well, I guess it just, they all, I guess, kind of touch or something, right? Because so the oceans are currently Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, and Arctic. So now it's the Southern Ocean. So I guess the same as the Arctic, but just now Southern.
So they just chopped off the bottom of all of the other oceans and
Yes, that is
called
correct.
it
Yes. So the bottom of
Southern.
the Atlantic, bottom of the Pacific, bottom of the Indian is now the Southern Ocean.
Hashtag not my ocean.
Well, that's actually pretty cool. When did they establish this exactly?
The other day. What
Okay.
was it? On last week.
You know,
I have no idea.
technically, it's all one body of water. I mean,
This is true.
what's in a name?
Exactly.
It's like
It's
people
fine.
just came together. I'm like, you know what? I want to name this half of the water this, but at this part of the water, it now becomes this. And now at this part of the ocean, I'm going to name it this.
Yeah.
I guess that's how I kind of that's kind of the discussion that was had in a much more probably in depth, but they were probably fighting over it. Who knows? We fight about everything. Honestly, as human beings, we fight about everything. It's like, no, I want
Earthing.
this. Earthing. Mike, you had something for us.
I have a random fun fact since that seems to be a thing that is happening now. Do you guys want to guess at the speed of the very first speeding ticket ever written? How fast was the first person to speed going?
45 miles an hour.
Oh, that's way off.
All right. 92.
That's even more off. The very first speeding ticket was written in 1896 to a man named Walter Arnold. He was going 8 miles an hour in a 2 mile an hour zone.
Was that horse and buggy?
Really?
It was an old Mercedes Benz. Well, this was 1896 though, so you got to remember, like that was the very, very, very beginnings of automobiles. It was probably more practical to walk.
Sounds like you said 2 mile an hour zone. That's
2 mile an hour zone. Yep. And the officer pursued on a bicycle. Yeah.
Wow. These officers must have been in great shape.
To catch up with 8 miles an hour. Oh yeah.
They've just been like hustling. But imagine if they like saw him go by and they're on a dead stop and they're like, okay, I have to like pick up pace at 8 miles an hour. Click, hit the little speed on their gauge and then just take off.
Hit the little bell. Ding ding.
Yeah, just Lance Armstrong at just full speed ahead. It's like, hey, pull over. And it's just like right in. Pull over. Beep, beep.
Oh, man.
But no kidding. I was way off because I'm thinking
yeah. I
later
wasn't sure.
on, I didn't think it was that fast because I know cars are just now like later on is when they started gaining but they actually could, go at a quick pace, obviously besides the race cars that they had back then. But conventional cars weren't that quick. Like they were just 40, 50.
Actually, one of the
quick.
One of the leading reasons for cars becoming faster, especially in the modded community, was the moonshine business. That was one of the origin of NASCAR is kind of, it has roots in moonshine because people were modifying their cars to make them go faster so that they could outrun police when they're out, on a moonshine run or whatever.
Wow.
So that
That is a
became
fun fact.
part of the culture of like hot rodding and all that kind of stuff. But it was one of the things that led America down the whole fast car lane.
I have to say to the listeners, you're not going to get this type of valuable content anywhere. Just this diverse a variety of things. I mean, this is stuff that I just learned something, and I'm on the show, and I learned something. Make sure to give a thumbs up. Make sure to give a thumbs up or a 5-star rating and review.
I got a just as good as or even better one than that. Pretty crazy. More like in our realm, kind of ish. So it's a gene editing breakthrough. So it says right here, for the first time, CRISPR technology has been used to successfully treat disease in vivo or inside the body. Big medical news was announced Saturday by the biotech startup Intellia Therapeutics and its partner Regeneron, which said their gene editing techniques reduce the amount of harmful liver protein associated with a genetic nerve disorder. So that's pretty crazy.
That actually is
Wow.
pretty crazy.
Shit.
I'm interested to see what other types of things we can come up with, because I think there's like a practical limit, right? We're not going to be able to do certain things, or hopefully
Maybe.
we
Maybe.
stop at certain points, but
We're not gonna.
um
We're just gonna keep on pushing it.
I think that's
All
definitely
gas, no
something
brake.
that could be really, really cool, especially when you get into like any kind of like degenerative diseases or things that are, you know, like that, like a liver issue or
Yeah, so I mean, like right here, it says like the bacteria they use CRISPR to repel viruses, but humans have harnessed it to essentially copy and paste DNA sequences, potentially leading to a revolution in treating disease. There you
it's
go.
hot.
So hot right now.
Yeah, that's
Hotter than
attractive.
Hansel.
So we ready to shift gears once again into the health and fitness side of this stuff?
Yes.
All right, cool. So a little bit of a, this topic has multiple parts. We mentioned at the beginning of the show, just talking about the importance of change, the little factors that come into play as part of it. It's always going to be important. The importance of change is just what you're in a place right now that maybe it may not be ideal for your health, for your mental health, for your physical health. We're talking, just your overall well-being is suffering as a result of where you're at. And we'll keep it in the context of fitness just because this is out of all the other stuff that we talked about, this is actually what we know about, right? So it's like,
Experts.
we're quote unquote experts in the field. So the importance of change is just, you need to establish kind of like, what is it that you want to get, what you want to be different, and why. Understanding that is going to be a very pivotal thing in your brain to make that shift, because we're always going to gravitate towards where we're comfortable. So as long as you don't have a reason to, you're always going to pick, to something that's familiar, even if it's familiar pain, something that you are not happy with, but it's not overwhelming enough where it causes you to make that shift and you're like, I need to do better. So you need to kind of address that where you're at. Once that discomfort, that pain becomes so glaringly obvious to you, is that you're going to make that shift. And this is going to be a big, huge thing, because some other factors are going to come into play. Obviously, you're going to run into challenges. This is where people run into maybe they see great progress, they hit a wall, and that's their first, sign of a struggle or challenge. That's going to be the first point I wanted to cover, is just the challenges that you run into with change.
Well, I mean, when you get to that point, I mean, didn't you already do the hard part of being aware that a change is needed?
Absolutely.
So I think that's typically can be the hardest part. Then, of course, what do you do with that? Is the change going to just happen overnight, just magically, just out of nowhere, out of thin air? No, it's not going to happen. So you got to just put some kind of like work or have a plan put together in order to how can you elicit this change in whatever part of your life that you'd like to happen. Some can be, practical. Other ones take some more time and more energy, more efficiency, more, more planning, right? Because if I say, well, I want a better job. Well, okay, well, what can I do to get there? Or if I say I want to get healthier, okay, well, then maybe it's a lot easier to path for that, right? Because I can start doing things today, start making changes right then and there, as opposed to the job where I got to start researching. Okay, what can I do? Do I need a new skill? Do I need to, I don't know, get some more training? Do I need to just apply to other kind of places? Do I need to, totally pick up and move? There are some situations where you need to pick up and move if you want to if you want to change your kind of situation as far as employment, living, or anything like that. Like,
absolutely.
I think I'm just sitting here thinking about it. I think it's pretty funny that humans get so complacent now, where maybe complacent's the wrong word, but we just get so comfortable with whatever circumstance we have going on. Whereas, maybe a couple 100 years ago, humans were not comfortable at all. Everything was constantly changing, and they were actively searching for comfort, where they didn't have to worry about food next week, or I don't know that they necessarily had income, but just kind of worrying about the future constantly. where now we're on the opposite end of the spectrum, where we kind of get into these grooves and everything just gets settled, and we have our budget and we have our bills covered, and food and grocery stores and all of these issues that normally would have been are now solved.
That's my dog.
And then
Oh,
and then
I'm like, what the hell was that?
She's having
What
puppy
was that?
nightmares.
Oh, okay.
She's fucking. You can hear her.
that's adorable. But yeah, now we're in situations where we can end up being unhappy or discontent because we're so comfortable in our lives, which is like honestly kind of a privilege to even have this conversation. But it's just funny in comparison. I do think that this is something worth talking about now, though, because we are in a modern time and all these issues that we used to have on. So, especially when it comes to being fulfilled, whether it's with your job or your relationship or your own body, there's things that you have to do to get out of your groove, out of your funk, or whatever you want to call it, and get out of your comfort zone to go and do these interesting new things, to challenge yourself and to grow as a person. And a lot of the times those are like the uncomfortable decisions that you have to make to put yourself in an uncomfortable position. And then and it's always funny because a year after being uncomfortable in that new position, it then becomes your normal routine. You're adapted to it. And then before long, you're looking for something else. So point being to this whole entire rant is that change is kind of in our DNA, where we're constantly looking for like new and more exciting and interesting and different. But at the same time, we also seek comfort and sustainability. So it's kind of just like an interesting topic for me.
And the thing with the other challenges that come and why this is challenging for most people to deal with, and I want to say this, be okay with the uncomfortable feelings that you're going to have, which is resistance to that change. That something's not right and needs to, be better. But that's going to come with natural resistance. That's with everything. It's going to challenge. The reason is because it challenges your belief system, and that's not easy for anyone. Obviously, we get challenged all the time when we read new information with fitness on the way we were coaching a certain way, maybe stuff that we were doing for our own fitness journey. And we've had to go through different processes of learning, like, damn, we're not the same people we were even just, 5 years ago, not let alone 10 years ago. And shit, I mean, it's good that we're not, because if we were, then why are we doing this? If we're not open to allow our minds to be changed, if there's something better presents itself that obviously has some logic and backing. We're very objective, but we're also very open to being challenged and to change our minds. And you have to be as well and be okay with that. At the first, it may sting a little bit because you believed so much in something, and now you have something else coming out of left field, what feels out of left field, and now it's shattering your whole paradigm. And now you're like, holy cow, like, is this the right thing? And as long as you're always just have that white belt mentality, even if you work in fitness or you're just going through it or you're working with a coach, trust the process that it's completely okay to not be right. Once you start letting go of that, you'll be more open to and let down some of that resistance and go through the process. And it's kind of just follows to the point of just the importance of taking action is going to be a very critical point to finish off this. But I don't know if anyone else had anything to add with the challenges before we move on to the final part.
Yeah, just real quick thing. So if you're someone who is constantly looking for change or constantly looking for the next thing, I would just say be careful not to take for granted as to where you are or things that you have accomplished so far. And it's always great to always want to go out and do more, do better, but just know what you've done so far to get to where you are. That's
good. Some actions here. We've covered the importance of why, change is there. We've covered some of the challenges within, some stuff that may physically present itself. But as far as like it's very important that you actually take action. Don't wait for something just to happen for you, to fall on your lap. You want to make a conscious choice that, you need to take action forward to get that result. Now, the thing is that once you start becoming mentally okay with the possibility of, this maybe not working, the worst thing that can happen is if you decide to open yourself up to this, go through something, it doesn't lend itself to the result that you wanted to, you can always go back. But you may find that once you start doing things smarter, more effectively, you might start getting that positive feedback to like, holy shit, things are working out for me now. you may not want to go back. So, but it might be the other way. But all I'm saying is that you want to take a step forward, allow that to happen, and allow yourself to learn from it. And then you'll find yourself going in the direction that you need to go. You're always going to be where you need to be in your journey. Be okay with it.
Yeah, if keeping into the scope of fitness, if like let's say you've been trying to have go on this weight loss journey, a fat loss journey, and you go to a coach and they tell you, well, we need to eat more, that sounds kind of crazy. And it's okay, well, what's the worst kind of situation that you stay where you're at, that you gain just maybe like a couple of pounds, and then you can kind of always go back to where you were before. But like what have you been doing before? Let's just try to do something different from what you have done before where it didn't yield the result that you want, and just be okay with it. So like to your point, what's the worst that can happen? Ask yourself that, what's the worst that can happen? And, be okay with that.
Yeah. Like reframe those scary things that are going through your mind, reframe them, bring them out, talk about it, say it out loud. And you might notice that, wow, this is actually not that big of a deal. Like it's it's for a lot of people, it's simple example. It's I think everyone can kind of like has experienced this or has heard of this, is when a coach or you hear someone tell you to track your food. This is like something that people are so resistant towards. And it's like a positive change that we know that it can open so many things in the realm of nutrition. But it's like, be okay with like, okay, shit, like, let me just become aware. It doesn't mean that you have to track forever, but it's like, allow yourself to prove to yourself that there's nothing inherently wrong with you. It's not as bad as you thought. Your metabolism isn't broken. Your hormones are just fine. Maybe just, damn, I'm actually overeating a lot more than I thought. I thought I was only eating 800 calories a day, but fuck, it turns out I'm eating like 2,200 calories a day. No wonder, like, I'm like, but this is a positive thing.
That's a good thing.
It's like, you thought like, holy cow, something is wrong with me. I'm super scared to like see it. But now you're like, wow, this is actually not a bad thing. This is actually a really good thing, because this means I can make some changes. And you start making those adjustments, start seeing the change happen in front of you. And holy cow, you're like on a better path than you were, because you embraced that change into that next step.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Mike, do you have anything else to add? I think I didn't want to, we can keep giving examples, but I kind of wanted to be nice and precise with this topic of change.
Nailed it.
Boys, any closing thoughts? Anything else to add here? This is like our fun Friday episode. We kind of just went off on a tangent, but I like it. Multiple topics, kind of shift the mood. Usually Mondays is our mindset if you're catching on. Wednesdays, we kind of have more of a concise topic that we'll get into. Maybe break down a little bit of science like Mike and we did for, supplements and muscle building hacks. Today, just have let it go off the rails a little bit.
You want me to go, Mike, or you going to go?
I can go. It's fine. You're probably just gonna destroy my riddle, anyways. So
perhaps
challenge him, please.
All right. Well, this is the best that I could come up with so far, at least today. I'm gonna ramp up my efforts as I need to. What can you hold in your right hand but not in your left hand?
When you hold in your left hand but not in your right hand.
What can you hold in your right hand?
What can you hold in your right hand but not your left hand?
Your left hand.
Your left hand.
Okay, well, back to the drawing board. I'm gonna get you guys one day.
I'm easy, bro. I'm pretty easy to get too. Like
exactly.
I mean, that one just was served on a platter for me.
I know.
One more bonus. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yes. Go for it.
Okay.
Redemption round.
What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
Alexander the Great.
I'll say it again. What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
No idea.
It's their middle name.
I literally said the.
Oh fuck! I didn't hear you. Yeah. Okay. You got it.
All right. What?
Damn. I didn't. Hey, the thing is that I heard him say that, but I didn't catch it. Go ahead, Gabe.
And then I was just like, "Is it the?"
Oh, I thought you said I didn't hear the. I just heard the part.
Hey, do you know what kind of tree comes out of your mouth? Poetry.
Oh, okay.
See, Gabe's. You know what? I know what Gabe does though. Gabe, like, he asks the question and then he'll like give you like 5 seconds to answer, and then he'll just say,
"What more do you need?"
So like he doesn't allow you to challenge his riddle. That's like why he's
No,
undefeated.
this
Mike,
is true.
this is why you've allowed Gabe. You gave him 2 options to answer. So like
No.
that's why he was able to
Do you want me
figure
to
it
put
out.
on like the Jeopardy music or
I'm
something?
gonna go on like the adventure of a lifetime, finding the most difficult riddles I can find.
Challenge
Gonna happen.
accepted.
That's your homework. But anyways, listeners, if you guys like this information, like this content, go ahead and share this information with someone else that could benefit from learning a thing or two about just life and fitness, because we know so much, obviously.
Experts.
And for our new YouTube channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. If you just listen to the audio, go ahead and show some support. We know we have more listeners right now actively on our audio platforms. Go over there and just give it a quick subscribe. It's free. Give it a little thumbs up too. It always helps out. We appreciate the constant support. And if you want to check us out on Instagram at the Next Level Show, my personal page is at John Alva 7. Gabe, well, I actually changed that. At John Alva Fitness.
Hello.
Gabe is at Prime and Glory. I know people are starting like, that's not what it says on the screen. And Mr. Mike is at Mike Millis PT.